Hey guys, it's Misskaykrizz and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, I would like to welcome you aboard. I do all videos about beauty, travel, and how to get the job as a flight attendant. So today's video, I'm very excited because it's a question that came from one of you guys who are watching my videos. It's from Misskaykrizz. She said, "Hi Kay, thanks for making this video. Thanks for sharing. Could you do a video about the advantages and disadvantages of being a flight attendant?" Anyways, thank you so much for following me on my Twitter account. You're very welcome, Keisha, and I thank you for this question. It is a very valid question and I am excited to answer this for you. And if you are also wondering about the advantages and disadvantages of being a flight attendant, then stay tuned. I have thought about this question and I have listed down everything that is, what I think is an advantage and a disadvantage of doing my job as a flight attendant. So here we are. Let's just get straight into it. So let's go first to the disadvantages. For me, the first disadvantage would be the adjustment. If you are somebody who's not comfortable with changes or always meeting new people or being in a new environment, if you're a very stiff kind of person, then you will have a hard time adjusting to a new place, new people, and new environment. So that's what I think is a disadvantage for some people. But it could also be an advantage for people like me who doesn't like to be bored. Number two disadvantage is the sleeping pattern. Usually, being a flight attendant, you work different hours. It's not a 9 to 5 job. It's not one of those jobs that you do Monday to Friday. No. Sometimes you tend to work at night and also you tend to work in the morning, just like nurses, right? So sometimes your sleeping pattern can be disrupted because of this. And also, if you are working long flights, for example, I have to go to Manila and I'm gonna stay there for like 2 days, then my time clock is different, and when I go back to base in the Middle East, it's kind of like I have to catch up. So my sleeping pattern is always disrupted, but for me it's not really a big deal because I don't know, I'm so used to it by now. Disadvantage number 3. For me, this is for people who are married or for people who doesn't like to go and spend some nights away from home. I don't know, maybe you have a mother you have to take care of or your grandparents, so your family time is definitely limited, especially if you are an international flight attendant. Sometimes you have to spend 3 days away from home, things like this. This is one of the challenges of being a flight attendant. But the thing is, there is a workaround this topic. It depends on which airline you are working for. Our disadvantage number 4. Okay, so the disadvantage number 4 for me is homesickness. If you're the kind of person who can't cope with homesickness, then it's gonna be a disadvantage for you because number 1, if you become an international flight attendant and you have to move, just like what happened to me, you will be away from home, you'll be leaving everything behind to move to this new land and try to make a new life for yourself. So if you are homesick, there's actually no cure, but what they told us in the seminar before you leave the country, homesickness is natural, and the only way you could cope with it is to let it pass. Don't deny it, don't indulge in it. If you feel it, just let it flow and just let the feelings process naturally. You don't have to hold on to it too much, or some people, I don't know, they don't have coping skills. So this can be one of the things that may lead you to quit your job if you become a flight attendant and you are so homesick you can't bear it. The next disadvantage is disadvantage number 5. Holidays and special occasions. So just like nurses and other professional jobs out there, like doctors, we don't usually have our time for ourselves. I mean, like, we don't really own our time, okay? So this kind of jobs, we do rotation jobs, we do the job 24/7. So there will be times that it's Christmas and you're working in the air. There will be times that it's your birthday and you have to work. And this is kind of sad, but for me, it's a matter of planning, because in my current flight attendant job right now, we can request for our annual leaves 1 year ahead. So if one of your friends know that they're getting married next year, they should inform you right away. Then you could request your leave around those wedding dates, and then you will be able to still be a flight attendant and become your best friend's maid of honor, right? What I have noticed is for every disadvantage that I have, there is always a workaround about it for me, because I don't know, that's just the way I think. So anyways, moving on, the next disadvantage, which is disadvantage number 6. Disadvantage number 6 for me is because of the job, and when you become used to it, sometimes you will have the tendency to stop learning. You just want to focus on your job and you don't want to learn anything new. So if you want to do that, you can definitely do that in this industry. You could just focus on flying, study your latest memo and study everything about flying, and just do that. It's a disadvantage for me because you can stop growing if you want. But the thing is, it is your choice. If you want to keep on learning, you can definitely do, and you definitely have the time to do it. Just like me, I started blogging before I was an international flight attendant, and right now I am an international flight attendant. And what fills my days is, aside from flying, I try to learn about videos, how to make them. I try to learn about YouTube. Yeah, for me, it is an exciting place because I still try to learn to grow. But the disadvantage is for some people who are lazy, they don't tend to grow, and they would complain by the end of the day that, oh, I feel so stupid right now, I'm just pretty and I feel like I don't know anything, or I don't know. Some people are like that, but it's your choice basically. Okay, moving on to disadvantage number 7. It is actually, I don't know if this really is a disadvantage, but I would like to cite or make a point that you, as a flight attendant, you have a lot of temptation. What do I mean? Temptation to shop everywhere you go, okay? Because you get to go to different places, new cities, new countries. You tend to want to go and shop from different countries. Like I said, because some things are cheaper in certain areas, like Prada is so much cheaper in Milan, or Louis Vuitton is so cheap in Paris. So you would be tempted to spend your money on these things because they are so much cheaper when you are there. Okay, not just branded bags, you tend to shop more clothes, more shoes, or more food. If you're into food, we have so many foodies in this industry, they're every time they're on this country, they try to hoard lots of this type of food from there. So I think that's a minor disadvantage, because if you are weak and you don't stick to your budget, you can easily go overboard and go shop away your salary. Okay, disadvantage number 8. I would say it's a disadvantage because most people think of it as a disadvantage and most people hate it. For me, it really is not an issue, but I will just cite it because for the sake of other people, it would be a disadvantage for them to work in a customer service kind of job. So being a flight attendant, you are a security person, you're a safety person, you are the face of the company, you have to be glamorous and pretty at the same time. You are the customer service representative of that airline that you are working for. That means if there are any complaints about the passenger, they complain about the food, they complain about the temperature, they complain about delay, you're the first person to be receiving those complaints. So if you are the kind of person who can't handle this stuff, this could be quite tough for you. But like I said, this is a service industry kind of job. So we do service, and at the same time we do safety for our passengers. So it is part of the job to handle complaints and to make it better for them when these complaints come up. So for most people, I get comments from you guys on my Facebook or on the video that will say, oh, I don't want to be a flight attendant because they said it's difficult, you will be the one to handle the complaints of the passenger, blah blah blah. So these are just negative thinking, guys. This is actually the job that you applied for. You didn't apply for a job to become pretty, to travel, okay? The real job that you are doing is you are representing a company. You are an ambassador. That means you have to be able to represent the airline very well. You have to be able to do your job well. And if there are complaints, you have to be able to overcome those complaints and to handle them the professional way. So we have trainings for this. We have the training in the specific airline that I work for. They train us how to handle complaints, and I think it is very much a rewarding kind of job for me because not just because I was a call center agent and food service staff, you know, before for KFC, which basically this is what I do every day. I serve food and then there's a complaint and then I try to manage those complaints, which I kind of know before I even started to become a flight attendant. But the thing is, it is rewarding for me when somebody has expressed their complaints, because that means that they're giving you a chance to correct it, to make it better. And for me, that is very rewarding if somebody was complaining about me or somebody has a complaint and I tried to correct it and I was successful in doing so. Oh my God, the feeling, guys, is so rewarding. It's like one of those things that people do the job because they love the job. And for me, my kind of personality, I love it when somebody, you know, I try to win somebody when they initially thought that I was like, or my service is bad. And then if I made that customer happy, you know, it's priceless. It really is priceless. So I think that's it. That's all. That is all the disadvantages that I could think of. Just to summarize everything: the adjustment with new people, new environment, the sleeping pattern, the family time that you get, homesickness, holidays and weddings, tendency to stop learning, temptation to overshop around the world, and customer service. So those are the things that I think are a disadvantage if you are gonna be a flight attendant.